It's always a surprise because even though that thing counts down, you're like, are we really online?
I know. And it's always nice. We get a little bit of chatter before we kick things off into our new episode. So, what's new with you? How's everything with Bolt On?
Bolt On is moving, baby. Take a look at our website because we got lots of things. Matter of fact, what we're doing right now is going to be leading into something that a lot of people have asked for.
It is, we've been working really, really hard on just going over some of the biggest steps that successful shops take that are, they all have in common. What are they doing? What are the most successful shops doing? And we want to be able to provide all that information to our customers to help them improve. And really, I think what it comes down to is, it doesn't matter if you're in the automotive field or in any other field. A job, sometimes you just start to run through the motions because you do them so often, and that can ultimately hurt your business.
Yeah, I mean, I ask people a lot of times, take a real look at your shop because you go in there every day, unlock the door, you do the whole thing. You never even think about it. You go around, flip switches and all that stuff. But here's the point I'm trying to make is that you don't see anymore. You don't see your shop anymore. And I sometimes say, if you hire somebody new, give them a pad and paper and say, walk around and tell me what you see, because you become blind.
Sure.
And the same thing with the service process. Some of us just fell into it. Some of us, there's all sorts of different ways. But here's the thing. There's a definite beginning and ending to that process.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of steps in the middle. And sometimes if you just take a moment and look, break it down. This is diagnosis. When you diagnose something, we break it down into small pieces, and then we go through the thing. Well, we're going to break down the whole process for service into small pieces, so you can see, hey, am I doing that? Ooh, should I do that? Et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. And, we've been able to do this in 10 simple steps. Now, a lot of the things are what really the bolt-on products have been built on to help you make this a lot easier. But these are really the steps that are going to help you really nurture those relationships that you have with your customers and continue to have them coming back to you because they enjoy their experience at your shop. So, are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
All
Number one.
Number one is offering online scheduling.
Oh my gosh. The more flexible that your shop can be, the better it is. Now, in the middle of the night, oh my gosh, the oil, I drive home and I see the sticker, I need the oil change. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I got to do it now while I have to think about it. So if I can get online and schedule my appointment, that's going to make it easier for me. And that's what customers want. Texting and making appointments. That would be really cool.
Sure. And you know what? It's just like you said. I mean, your shop has the time that you open and the time that you close. But what about all that business that you could potentially be losing in that off time? Your website really allows you to be a 24/7 business. And, by setting up things where they're able to book appointments online and even, first, before booking appointments online is just finding your business online so they know you exist. That is a huge step to guaranteeing people coming into your business.
Definitely. Flexibility because we're all way too busy.
So that leads us into step 2. All right. So they've already booked their appointment. Now they're coming into the shop and you have a long line.
You know something? The lesson to be learned, and from you folks that are not from the Philadelphia area, it's called Wawa. I love the fact that I can go in and have them build a sandwich with everything on it. They can give me soup, they can give me coffee. And the beauty of it is I go up to a screen, bing, 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 and I check myself in. And then I print the slip out and I go and pay for it. You know what? I come back to the counter and there's the masterpiece. Can you imagine if your customers could sign themselves in, do the same thing, tell you want the oil change, alignment, blah, blah, blah?
You have to allow them to check themselves in. Nobody wants to wait in lines. Oftentimes they just need to drop their keys off and go because they have a meeting, they have an appointment, they have work to get to, they have a kid to drop off. So by allowing self-check-in, not only are you going to make things more manageable at your front desk, you're also going to make it a lot easier on your customers.
Yeah, there's a shop that uses our one product in California that's used it over 16,000 times. They have all their smog people punch themselves in while they're handling the rest of the crowd. Think about that. It's really that easy.
Which then takes us, all right, so we're checked in, the appointment was booked online. Now we want to make sure our team is accurately taking down their vehicle information.
Step 3.
Step 3.
The VIN is 17 digits to get wrong. I mean, that's all you have
That's
to say.
such a good way to put it.
And how many times have you gone out to the car, you scribble it and come back, oh crap. Then you go back out and do it again. I know I've done it, right? Well, with digital technology, you don't have to scan it, photograph it, bing, you've got the information. And you know how important that VIN is now because you need to know exactly the order parts. And if you don't have it straight, you're going to get the wrong parts too.
Absolutely. All right. So then once we start recording all of this information correctly, we're going to try to continue along this digital aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take the VIN number down accurately, maybe it's because you're scanning that VIN number with, some of the bolt-on products that we have. But the whole idea is making everything digital and being able to make your work order and do your estimates while on a tablet gives you that much more
Yes.
of your resources around you to make the best possible decisions.
I mean, think about in your shop process, how many times does a piece of information have to be transferred from a piece of paper to a piece of paper to a computer to a computer to a piece of paper and back and forth? And every time, every step is a chance to mess it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, as someone who has been in the auto repair shops, how much paper are you wasting and going through during all of this? It is amazing.
It is incredible how many reams of paper you'll go through. When I worked at a dealership, I remember the manager's office was nothing but paper stacks all around them. And I was like, well, aren't you afraid this stuff's going to fall and kill you? But it was that serious. I mean, that big, but it's gotten a little better.
All right. So we're creating the work orders and estimates through digital technology. Number 5, I know it's my favorite. I'm pretty sure it's your favorite too. Conduct a digital inspection on each vehicle that comes into your shop.
The paper inspection is dead if you haven't heard the word. Okay, and why? Because now with a digital inspection, your technicians very easily can show you, tell the customer and you, the advisor, exactly what the vehicle needs. And they can take pictures of these items so they can educate you. And you as an advisor, when you're on the phone talking to a customer, they can be looking at that picture. It's like they're underneath the car with you. And you know that when you take a customer out to a car and you show them why you're telling them they need this or that, 9 times out of 10, they're like, get it done. So that's what the digital inspection is. It's like a digital way of bringing your customer to your bay, to your shop, and letting them understand. They understand the why.
So as we're doing the digital inspections, oftentimes some services that are unexpected pop up, right? You're doing a thorough search of the vehicle. You're seeing what the overall health and condition is. Something pops up. Number 6, our step for number 6 is text your customer in order to communicate with them.
I just read an article that half of all the phone calls we're going to get on our cell phones in this year is going to be spam, spoof, and all sorts of other things. So forget about everything else. You're already 50% in trouble. So why use the phone? Let's use text, where we can send a copy of that inspection. Those findings that we were just talking about are all right there. All that could be contained into a little text. We send it to the customer, and know what? The customer's going to look at it. And usually the average is less than 3 minutes. They're going to look at it. Even if this phone here, we got one right down here, right? That thing buzzes. I'll tell you, she's going to look at it because she's going, who's that? But that's the way it works, right? So we're going to text this information to the customer because it is now the way for customers to grab on and understand. And that's the way they want to interact.
Sure. It even comes down to people are willing to, the average response to a text message is under 6 minutes. And, we're seeing sometimes it takes our customers an hour, if not more, to return the phone call. You think about it, if you are at work all day, you're not always able to answer a phone call. But if you see something come in through a text from your repair shop, okay, you can either make time for a phone call, excuse yourself because you have something coming up, or just check to see if something's approved, give them a quick A-OK, and they're able to continue on with your car. You're able to get back to work. And then when you come after your work day is done, you're going to be able to pick up your car with no added things that you're unaware of and additional services that need to be done because they couldn't get a hold of you.
Yeah, and I'm going to just add one thing. How many times have you pulled a car off the lift and put it outside, waiting for an okay, and as soon as you got it outside, you know what you got, the okay. Putting it back in, putting it up in the air is one of the most frustrating things for a tech And I've done it. I've been caught by it. Let's stop it.
Perfect. All right. So, all of the additional services have been approved through text message. So now it's time to prepare the invoice and get their keys ready. And I think one of the most exciting things, this is new for Bolt-On. If you haven't heard already, you're going to hear it now. We now have a feature integrated in with our system that allows your customers to send payment via text. This, we talked about making the check-in process easy. Think about how much easier the checkout process is going to be. They know exactly what it is that they're paying for because everything was approved. All of the services were laid out up front. And now it's a simple click of a button for them to be able to pay their bills. All they need to do is come in, grab their keys, and they're on their merry way.
And the shops, they're human beings in there, and they want to go home too, just like everybody else. But you get stuck at work, right? They tell you the car is done, but you realize you're not going to be able to get there before they close.
Exactly.
So now you have the ability to settle the bill and everything just with a couple of taps. No, it's all encrypted, so no one's going to be able to grab your numbers or whatnot. But the point being here is that you can do this, and they can lock the keys up in the car or whatever, or you can bring your spare car keys and drive away, not owing them money and them not being nervous that you're taking the vehicle. I mean, that's just one example.
Yeah.
And if you're a fleet guy, you have a whole fleet and you send people out just to pick up the vehicles, you might not trust some of those people with your company credit card. Well, just pay for it and they just go get it. Think about that. It's all great.
It makes it so much easier. All right. So now that was step 7. Now we're on to step 8. Come to pick up their keys. They had an awesome experience because you followed all of these 7 steps so far. So step number 8 is you want to make sure you're pre-scheduling their next appointment.
You want them back.
Hopefully,
you
right?
found things that are not quite ready to be replaced. And think about brakes, tires, etc., right? Hey, your tires are in pretty decent shape, but by the time you come back again, I expect you need them. So you gave that customer a recommendation. Well, before they leave today, let's not only talk about what we expect that has to be done, let's make a plan by making that appointment.
Absolutely. So this also leads us into the next conversation you have before your customer leaves, is making sure you're asking for that review, for that recommendation. We know that reviews are key to being found not only on Google, but just in bringing business into your shop. People rely on other people's experiences before they make a decision, especially when it comes to working with a new business. So if you're able to, add to your Google reviews, add to your Facebook reviews, add to your Yelp reviews, with the simple text like Review Manager from Bolt-On Technology allows you to do, then that's going to help you really bring a whole new wave of customers in to have an experience that they enjoy as well.
How many times has this happened to you? You just work with a customer, they're happy as all get out, and they're like, wow, I love you guys. I'm going to tell her, hey, by the way, can you get me a review? Can you give me a review on Google or Facebook? And they go, oh, sure, I'll take care of that. And they never do. Why? Because they got busy. They left. Well, we have the ability to send a text to them right now while they're at the counter, and they can take care of that right in front of us in less than a minute. They can express their happiness to the world, bringing more customers to us.
Absolutely. The factor is it's all about convenience at that point. For them to remember to go on Google themselves, to type it in Facebook themselves, the links that we're able to send in our text technology takes them directly to those pages. People are very willing to go out of their way if they have a terrible experience and shout it from the rooftops. We all know that. I'm sure you've all experienced unhappy customers either leaving reviews on any of these review platforms. But when it comes to leaving good reviews, it's not so much that people don't want to do it. It's just that whole philosophy that you're expected to have a good experience when you go to a business. So it's not their first thing to go and tell everybody. Like that is an expectation for any business.
That's actually a really good point of view. You just taught me something. And I think if you listen to what Shana just said, you just learned something too, because that's correct. You're expected to have that great experience. So why the heck should you be rewarding it? That is a thought I never had. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So by giving that the reminder and giving them that convenient link to send them to, you're going to be able to skyrocket your reviews online. But it's important to make sure you have that conversation so they know it's coming first.
Yes.
And then finally, step number 10, reminding them about their next appointment. So you got the first appointment, you got the next appointment set, but it could be a few months from now.
Yeah.
So you got to remind them. People forget. People are busy.
Yeah, I mean, how much time do you have behind the counter to pick up the phone, call Mr. Smith and say, hey, you got an appointment next week? You don't. And we've been talking about how busy people are. Well, why not have an automatic reminder system in place that a week before a customer's appointment is due, a text goes out automatically and they get it. You know what? They're going to look at it because we know that the phone's not going to work, but the text will, right?
Mhm.
And they'll see that they have an appointment in a week. Well, if they can make it, all they have to hit the letter C and send it back, and they're telling you, we're confirming the appointment, we'll be back. If they can't make it, they can send a text with a better time, or they can pick up the phone and go, hey, I need a better time.
Absolutely. I mean, this all just goes to show it's a continuous cycle. Your customers, if you're looking for customers that just come in one time, shame on you because you're losing money off of them. It costs 3 times the amount to bring in a new customer than it does to retain an old customer. So if you're putting out that much money to just bring someone new in, it really is a shame if you don't get them back because that's money lost on your part. So by having this go full circle, this is really building the relationship and building the loyalty that service locations such as auto repair shops need in order to remain profitable and continue opening their doors every day.
I have nothing to add to that. You've done well.
Nailed it on the head. All right, so we're going to do a quick recap. I have my list right in front of me so I don't leave out any steps. Step 1, you want to make sure you give them the opportunity to book their appointments online. Make your business a 24/7 business. Step number 2, you're going to allow them to check themselves in and avoid any waits at your front desk. Step number 3, you're going to appropriately record the vehicle information and the VIN number with scanning at the license plate. You're able to get all of that information. Then sticking with those digital trends, you're going to make sure that you're creating your work orders and your estimates right from the tablet before going into step number 5, which is completing your digital inspection for every vehicle that comes in your shop.
Every vehicle.
Every vehicle. Once you're going through that digital inspection, there might be new services that come up. So step number 6 is to make sure you're texting and communicating with your customers to get approvals for additional work that may be needed. Step number 7 is once you have all those approvals done, you're going to get their invoice ready. You're going to allow them to pick up their keys. And now with the added feature of text to pay, you can have them pay directly through a text message. So, I'm doing pretty well, right? I'm getting out of breath. All right.
I'm sitting back on
Step number 8 is you are going to schedule their next appointment. Don't let them leave your shop without booking their next appointment. Be in control of new business opportunities. Step number 9, remind them to leave your review, ask for the review, ask for the recommendation, and shoot them a text message so that they have a quick, convenient link to get there. And finally, step number 10, do not forget to give them a reminder as their upcoming appointment comes up so that way they remember to bring their vehicle to your shop.
Wow. I have to say, she's done crazy. Good. We're going to give her a hand. We're all auto-motivated.
Are you? Until next time, we hope you enjoy. Put to work these 10 steps. Let us know if there's any steps that you love best down below. And until next time, we will see you later.
So long.
So long. Farewell.